brother, and since then has built a highly successful investment management business in the systematic short-term trading space. Familiar to many for his contrarian approach, he was one of the standout performers during the financial crisis and is among one of the most respected thought leaders in the business. Outside of money management, he's a highly accomplished musician, as well as a noted philanthropist in the fields of art and education, and of course a resident New Yorker. This year's award goes to Roy Niederhoffer, founder and president of RG Niederhoffer. I'll now hand over to Tony Stanziano from Western House to present the award.
Thank you, Matt. I have to first point out the accuracy of the name up there for starting in the CTA magazine 2 years ago, right before the rebirth of the CTA industry, with rumors of its demise were greatly exaggerated again. There are a few people in this room that remember the earliest points in my business, which happened in my one-bedroom apartment. I had about 6 computers, and my head trader was still with me, and people came and they saw something they liked, and we got off to a very fast start. But 2 years later, we got into a very fast drawdown. And to be here after this long, I have to credit not only maybe a little bit of skill, but a lot of luck to still be here. If there's anything that I think all of us have experienced in picking managers and picking strategy, whatever we're picking, it's really hard. And I certainly wouldn't have picked us out of the group of managers that was in every conference 20 years ago. And I think no one would have anticipated in 2014 that CTAs would have been the #1 asset class of any style in the whole world. I think the problem is it's a very hard job. Predicting is very, very tough. And the best piece of advice that I've ever gotten along the way came from a guy who was a big wig at an investment bank, and we were in the middle of our first big drawdown. We had a lot of redemptions, and he said to me, when I asked him what he thought I should do, he said to me, Roy, this industry, the financial industry, is not one where you're likely to make outsized returns or outsized money every year. The key is surviving. And I think, if anything, we have survived in a miraculous way as an industry through some tough times over the last 4 years, and are still around to now reap a few rewards. And it's lovely to have a magazine that proudly displays commodity trading advisor on its title instead of trying to flee from it the way many people have. Another wonderful experience that I had along the way was in the midst of a tragic one. And I think it says something about our industry and something about the fact that so many people here know each other from decades of dealing with each other. And it happened during 9/11. One of our brokers gave me a call after their entire FX desk was cut off from communication, and I think you know what happened. And they said, Roy, whatever you guys did today, your word makes it good. And they trusted us. We are in an industry that long, repeating relationships make the value of a relationship. It's not one transaction like mergers and acquisitions. It's millions of transactions over the course of a career that make the value of it. So we're very, very fortunate, all of us, to be in this industry surrounded by people who, because of that, are forced to be honest and forced to be stand-up people, because you can't backstab anybody if you're going to do 999,000 more transactions with them. So when I think about this industry, I'd like to jump on a soapbox here and suggest that we all get together now that we have the wind at our backs and do something that should have been done a long time ago. We should create the Managed Futures Investment Association. This is not something that lobbies to the government or tries to get us lower fees. It's something that would go out to investors and tell them about how great managers are, teach them about how to allocate, answer the questions that come up, and act as a lobbying organization, not backwardly facing to government, but outwardly facing, so we can expand the pie. This shouldn't... help me do this, please get in contact with me. I think we're the only industry in the world where the industry association took the name of the industry out of its name. And, right? It used to be the Managed Futures Association. We need someone out there telling people how great an industry we are, and I think we can grow the pie to 5 or 10 times what it is right now. And it doesn't mean that we have to be the #1 manager versus the #2 manager to get allocations. Every manager should have a lot more pie to get a slice of. So I hope that you'll all think about that, and if I have one closing word, it would be, let's try to grow the pie rather than compete with each other for who's better than everybody else. And I think we can make Managed Futures a lot bigger, a lot stronger, and filled with a lot of good people.
Well, congratulations, Roy, and thank you, Tony. I'm sure you're all keen to tuck into dinner, so please enjoy the meal.